how do I look?
Whoa, man! Ooh. Hey, you know that model in all them Hugo Boss ads?
Yeah?
You don't look nothing like him.
You're just jealous because the love of my life has returned. In Cindy, I found a woman I'd share the rest of my life with. You've never even found a woman you'd share a burrito with.
Earth to Carlton, but, Cindy dumped you, man.
She didn't dump me.
Nakia dumped you, man. So just imagine that Will is Killmonger and Carlton is T'Challa. MCU version.
Will. She was just working through a fear of intimacy caused by an overpowering
Wasn't Nakia playing so hard to get?
father and a narcissistic mother.
Sure it wasn't your breath?
Oh, look, hors d'oeuvres. Isn't it great to be rich?
Hands off, it's for Cindy.
Cindy, isn't she the one who dumped you?
Carlton? Why are you wearing a suit? Is Daddy bringing home white people?
No, Cindy's coming over.
Cindy? I thought she dumped you.
Okay, she dumped me. But now that she's back, I'm not gonna let her go. I'm gonna prove to her that I'm ready for an adult, mature relationship. Door!
All right, don't wet yourself. I'll get it.
God, I'm a wreck.
Carlton!
Cindy.
I never freeze. And granted, I'm not disrespecting to Chad Bosewick. I'm just going over how ridiculous the fucking MCU is.
Have something that belongs to you.
And basically that's your ending to Wakanda Forever. And in this scene, King T'Chaka, played by Uncle Phil, is convinced that Nakia is a cheating whore.
Here we come, ready or not. Super, huh? Look, matching hats. Oh, I never knew having a family could be so neat. I love you.
I love you too.
All right, well, I'd like to take this opportunity to bring it to everyone's attention that Uncle Phil's head is about to explode. And for once, it ain't my fault.
Well, I think it's time for little Carlton's nap.
Yeah, it smells like he needs to be changed, too.
I'll miss you, honey.
Miss you too. Isn't this something?
Yeah, she sure is. And Monday, after the blood test proves the baby's not yours, she'll be out of here on the first thing smoking.
Dad, the baby's mine.
Carlton, honey, suppose the baby is yours. Now, being a teenage parent is a very big responsibility, honey. And you have already proven yourself irresponsible. Otherwise, you wouldn't be in this situation. How are you going to feed this baby? Where are you going to live? How are you going to educate it?
Wait a minute.
Can't live
You
in
mean
Wakanda?
you're not gonna take care of us?
Hold me back, Philip. Just hold me.
Hey, I gotta take another step and I'll fill you full of potassium.
So
You need to let the police handle this.
y'all Negroes were so hyped at this little minor scene. Oh, almost not minor, short scene. The post and the mid and the post end credits. Oh my God! The will of T'Challa lives on in T'Challa Jr. Out of nowhere, and I made this claim. I had an epiphany while I was heading to work yesterday. While I was watching, after I was watching Angry Man review on Wakanda forever. And I kind of was disappointed he didn't make this claim. I was like, I ain't the smartest person. And I kind of wish someone else made this claim. But hey, if only 200 people watch this video and, you know, think it's an interesting claim, interesting fan theory, I'll take it. Anyways, after looking at this Fresh Prince episode, you can see how Carlton was so enamored by this girl that he was willing to be a stepfather out of nowhere. And Carlton knew damn well he didn't have sex with this girl. To put even the nail in the coffin, that he didn't even know how to have sex. He was still a virgin. But he was willing to go through all the hoops to prove that he can be a good man, a good father figure for a child that isn't even his. And the Strag almost went through with it, but there was an off-scene scene that people didn't really saw or really understood, was that this bitch really couldn't stand being next to Carlton, despite how influenced and rich. Well, I mean, he was still a teen. Technically, he wasn't making his father's money, but despite being part of the 1% of Negroes in America, she couldn't really put up and bear having a non-select man be her husband. Even if it was for the sake of getting the bag and manipulating this dumb idiot for the rest of her life, to where she can probably do anything and get away with it. She can cheat on him and he would justify it. She can bully him using it as a punching bag and he will return like a boomerang. But despite everything else, despite all that she could have gotten away with, she didn't want to do it. She couldn't do it because Carlton was so non-select, so unwanted, so short, so childlike, to where she couldn't even stand being around him in public. That's why Carlton had the baby first, and he came in with the baby, and then I caught it when Lark Voorhees' character was about to kiss Carlton in front of the family. She almost puked. She was like, oh shit, not this showboating again. Because the first time she did it on the start of the episode, she wasn't afraid to do it. That was just to say, hey, you still got it. I'm still your girl. Carlton ended up overdoing it to where it was like, okay, I don't need to prove myself 100 times that I'm your girl. So she just, when Carlton was about to go to the courthouse and they were about to get married, she took off. She would rather be a teen mom and run the streets homeless with that baby boy than being with that non-select ass nigga. And this reminds me of the so-called off-scene action between T'Challa and Nakia. Because you have to use so much imagination to figure out, run the calendar. You doing the Maury thing, like, oh, I got the calendar, bro. I got the calendar. I'm trying to figure out when the fuck this bitch got pregnant because I fucked her in March. She telling me she pregnant in April. Like, what the fuck? So you're doing all of these calculations trying to figure out like how the fuck did they even link up after the blip, after the Thanos snap, and then compose this plan, this dying will that's not a will, that this so-called boy will be raised in a fucking I don't give a damn about the pro-black analytics, the pro-black view of Haiti. It is a third world country that is war-torn. I don't give a damn about the cinematic prettiness of it. Ain't nobody trying to move to Haiti. You're in a war-torn country that is the first to get slapped, bitch slapped, and get literally no fucking support from other nations. Not even the same fucking neighboring country that shares the same island as them. Dominican Republic. They are the first to get bitch slapped by hurricanes and tropical storms. And they have to eat that shit. You're telling me T'Challa was cool with that? Because he wanted that boy to live a pro-black life, learning somebody else's history and adopting it as his own. Even though this boy is supposedly Wakandan. Fully blood Wakandan. Unlike Killmonger, who is just a halfer. And not only that, T'Challa so-called wanted his son to be in a country that is literally in no alliance with any first world country and is really much defenseless. But only that, he will put his son in that same country, and Wakanda offers literally no fucking support. They don't even pay this country to say, hey, we're going to pay you to protect this kid, protect my son. These officials probably don't even know the son of a king is living as a commoner amongst them. And that if something was to happen to that boy, they may accidentally receive consequences that they are like, hey, you know, I didn't know that boy was here. But that's the wiseness of a king, right? And the thing is, this could all make sense if you believe what I have to say. T'Challa Jr. is not T'Challa, Chadwick Boseman's character, son. That's not his son. And I feel like this because one, Nakia gets so many chances from Queen Rwanda, whatever her name is. So many chances to come back freely to Wakanda. Even though she's pledging loyalty to other nations. When she was when she was doing those missions in Africa to save women and children from being trafficked. And now she's also doing humanitarian missions in Haiti. This woman has no loyalty. Even M'Baku said this multiple times. Make sure. He said this multiple times. So who's to say that this woman isn't also sleeping with other men. I mean, she's a woman after all. She feels something. She's soft. But you're not gonna have me believe that out of nowhere, this bitch literally pulls a Carlton, a Fresh Prince episode, and T'Challa is like, "Oh yeah, no doubtably that's my son, no doubt." And meanwhile, in the first film, T'Challa is freaking pussy whooped, even though he's a high value man. He freezes to the point that where he could have died if his suit and the power of the heart-shaped herb didn't have the effects that it did to repel bullets. You're telling me Nakia was afraid of being part of royalty, even though the queen would have gave it to her? Nakia was so against being a part of the structure, even though in the monarchy of Wakanda, even though she fought against Killmonger and was the first to betray, and she was in the rulership of Killmonger, plotting against him. There's no way that's his son, man. There's no way. You're doing all this chasing, and I'm correct me if I'm wrong. When did T'Challa kiss Nakia? You don't even have a sex scene. Not even real legit intimacy. I don't recall, but again, it's the fact that people have to do so much head scratching to remember minor details in the first film to make it all make sense in the next. Because now all of a sudden, after the so-called, after the first film, after the blip, you're gonna tell me that all of a sudden, after all of this running away from him, abandoning him, breaking his heart and all that shit, she magically falls in love with him out of nowhere. And then not even only that, she keeps it secret. Who in the council would have been opposed to their union? There was no women, and I find it odd that none of the other tribes offered a wife to T'Challa. That don't even make any goddamn sense. How are they not offering a wife to him? That makes zero sense. As much as, you know, it's because the other tribes, they're not even trying to be the kings of Wakanda. They're cool being sidekicks and ass kissers to T'Challa's lineage, to his mother. They're not even interested in all that being the king or even getting the Black Panther suit. They don't even give a damn about that shit because they already have their own spiritual animal. They already have their own culture, so they don't need to do all that shit. They can have it. That's why in the second film nobody was interested in challenging for the throne or the challenging to be a Black Panther. Even though, yes, I know that the fruits were destroyed, and that Shuri didn't know how to make another fruit until the near end of the movie. But okay, you don't have the fruit, But how come, you could have easily just made a suit and just say, hey, fruit or no fruit, the Black Panther lives. So yes, the nations were designed to play second fiddle. Because I can assure you, none of them probably even had a Black Panther in their family. It was only T'Challa's lineage. So, damn, what was I about to fucking say? So if the nations weren't going to challenge and forfeit every challenge, other nations could have at least done something. And I know this would have had a lot of pushback because there was a lot of pushback and a lot of groaning when I saw Woman King. On the scene in Woman King, let me correct myself. The scene in Woman King where John Boyega's character, the king, had multiple wives, and it was introduced. The first scene where you realize that dude had multiple wives. I was in the audience, and I noticed there was some grunting. There was grunting, seeing him have multiple wives. How come T'Challa didn't have that? How come there wasn't like a Bachelor, the Bachelor series for T'Challa? What other tribes could have done in Wakanda was, hey, since we're not going to challenge, we'll present a woman, a virgin woman, to sit beside T'Challa in the throne. That would have made more sense. And so T'Challa would also have a favoritism to another tribe second to his own. That would have made sense to me. But going to Nakia, why would, after going through all the bullshit of the first film to where you have Killmonger's character bitching and moaning about how he was robbed of a fucking birthright, now all of a sudden you want to do the same thing to your son with no reward? You just come from talking to your own father, King T'Chaka, about, dude, you was too cutthroat. You left a Wakandan to rot in the Americas with no help, no aid. You kept him secret. And now he is going to destroy everything that you built. This could have been all prevented. You're really going to tell me T'Challa literally think that shit through? All because he had a disease. He think that shit through. To where he was going to leave that kid out in the wilderness of Haiti. To a people that ain't even his. And Wakanda doesn't even do shit for black nations. They don't do shit. Wakanda is so fucking strange in the MCU to where Wakanda will act like the most pro-blackest nation in the motherfucking world. But you don't even know how they how they operate with even the border nations around them, and other African nations, and the Caribbeans, and the Black Latin Americans. You don't know any of their relations. How come they ain't fighting for reparations? There's no talks of that. T'Challa had to beg and get Shuri out of the fucking lab to go to America so she can learn the American experience. And not a lot of people caught it, but Shuri was like, what the fuck am I doing here? I don't want nothing to do with these little niggas. And when they saw that boy that looked like Killmonger, that scene, that was about extinguishing the fire of another Black Messiah. Because you notice Shuri wasn't talking all that anti-Black American shit when she met up with Riri Ironheart. Now all of a sudden it's girl power. Ain't that convenient? But you had all the hate in the world for Killmonger. I never felt anything about the Wakandan, the MCU's Wakandan lineage. They were all pieces of shit. Killmonger was a piece of shit. T'Chaka was a piece of shit. Queen Rwanda was a piece of shit. Shuri was shit. They're always shit. But continuing of my theory that's not T'Challa's son. Why would a woman just say fuck it, like I don't want any part of that, when she can literally change the landscape and how shit is run, because she has knowledge of other nations. She has traveled the most compared to any other Wakanda. So she is learning and getting firsthand experience of other governments. So she can look like, okay, I notice this nation does this, and it's first world, and it works. I notice in the third world country, they do this, and it doesn't work. I got a piece of socialism, diplomacy, communism, Marxism, and I can create this hodgepodge theology of politics that people can go behind. I think I can make a better world, a better nation. You telling me, what, she didn't want to do all that? Why? Because the child wasn't T'Challa's. Why the boy has no birthright? And maybe T'Challa, Chadwick's character, that's probably why he wanted to protect that kid and just leave him out there in Haiti. Because knowing how ignorant and anti-outside world the monarchs were in Wakanda, or the council, the high council were towards Killmonger, and this nigga was only half Wakandan. The nigga was still black. It's not like he was mixed with white or some shit. The nigga was still a black man. And despite that, they treated him like shit. So I really think T'Challa Jr. is half Wakandan. And I don't think there will be another heart-shaped herb, so there will never be another ancestral plane scene. And they're not, and the MCU was slick because they refuse to create artificial footage and scenes of Chad Boswick's T'Challa. So T'Challa Jr. will never see on screen, at least, will see T'Challa. But what if he wasn't able, even if you gave him the fruit, it wouldn't have done shit. Because he isn't of T'Challa's lineage. So this gives the MCU a lot of free play to make this new young Avenger, they're setting up for the young Avengers, for this little T'Challa to be an artificial Black Panther. I think that's why they set it up like that. Because I just don't see why a woman would even hide this shit. And why a dude would even accept this bullshit. Well, because T'Challa was a simp, and he would have done anything in the world to get Nakia. And he probably just ran into Nakia and saw her pregnant, and he was like, man, this doesn't make sense. And Nakia was like, I don't know who the father is. But I want you to be a father figure and take care of this little nigga. Actually, not even that. I want you to feel responsible. Because she was still willing to be a single mom. Even when T'Challa was at least somewhat alive and well. So she just needed him to be a father figure. Ain't no way in hell, man. Ain't no way in hell a biological black father, especially a black man, is just really just gonna sit out and not even be proud of his own lineage. That's bullshit. Especially in royalty, that's bullshit. It's bullshit that he would even desecrate his lineage by having a bastard child. That's bullshit. So Shuri probably came to T'Challa Sr. with a baby pregnant. And T'Challa was like, I already know the math ain't adding up. Because we probably even never hit it. I never hit. So I never hit, but you're in a vulnerable spot, and I love you. So T'Challa Senior probably just gave the permission to use his namesake, and was like, hey, you can name the baby after me. That makes more sense. Because he probably even had at least a little common sense to say, like, hey man, you can't have the benefits that I have because it only comes with people with my blood, my bloodline. But the least, actually not even the least, the most you can get is my namesake. The most. So that probably makes more sense. I don't know. Because I'm not buying this bullshit. Because I'm tired. This is another. I'm tired of fucking non-select black men getting off-screen love. It's bullshit. It's bullshit. This is the nice guy T'Challa, and you're telling me, despite his wisdom, his grace, his mercy, he has the respect of the whole fucking nation. And then some, that he can get a woman, a black woman at that respects him and loves him unconditionally. That's bullshit. Because I'm tired. Because I see this fucking narrative all the time in black sitcoms. Or sitcoms with a black character. You have non-select, smart, nerdy good guys, black nerdy good guys, and black women don't even want to fuck with them. These kids get no love life. They're loners. They may get a woman or two to pretend to like them, or they're just bullied by women. And I was so sick of this fucking narrative. But, well, while all you niggas are dressing up in white, mourning T'Challa, and y'all are talking about black unity and coming together under black grief and black trauma and all that shit. I know it's you niggas ain't talking about marriage. Because that post-edit screen justifies fuckery in the AUS community, in the black community in America. That marriage doesn't mean shit. Unions, a two-parent household don't mean shit. That's what it's saying. Not even royalty can be dummied down to niggas. That's what it's telling me. That a woman can literally choose single parenting because she is too fucking stubborn to submit to a man, even though he's a goddamn king. I notice y'all niggas ain't talking about marriage after seeing Wakanda Forever. I notice y'all niggas ain't talking about raising children under the, two-parent household, keeping it together, make sure the family's all right, unifying amongst the family. See, niggas, y'all are just doing individual unity. Yeah, let's just dress up one day and, we'll give a tribute to Chad Bosewick. But one thing this film knew was that y'all can talk all this black liberation, fuck white people shit, but when it comes to marriage and dating, they don't even talk about that shit. And it's interesting because in the first film, Killmonger has a girlfriend, or at least some bitch on a leash. And this nigga point blank shoots her. Just cuz. Just cuz. He could have easily, tilted the gun and shoot Claw in the face. He could have easily done that. But he wanted to prove a point that he didn't need a bitch to carry his load. And he still failed. In the long run. But that was the point. That was the point. But here's the thing. You can see this bad man in the grander scheme of the perspective that Killmonger was the villain. Even though technically he wasn't doing anything wrong. Because you can easily paint him as the good guy if he was white. That you see that this bad man can have a woman ride for him in public. In public. Ride for him. But T'Challa, the noble king, Nakia doesn't want to fuck with him in public. But out of the blue, out of nowhere, she just got sprung. She just had T'Challa in her mind, and she was like, T'Challa, I'm in Haiti. You need to come here right now. What? Right now? Yes, right now. I'm in heat. Come on, y'all don't even know women don't even operate like that. Not towards ELs. Not towards guys they ain't even attracted to. So how are you going to tell me that Nakia out of nowhere had all these feelings for T'Challa? She just popped up. You just got to do it. Not if something was involved to where you're saying like, hey, there's a compromise that you need to make, which was you taking a son that ain't yours, but you get to have his namesake. And the child was senior is just goofy, and he's just like, hey, you know what? As long as I'm near you, that's all that matters. But hey, I'm dying in a couple years. That's the best you Negroes can do in the storyboards. That's the best. That is the best y'all Negroes can do in the storyboards. Y'all, the black women in motherfucking Wakanda, and especially with Shuri, and more so with Queen Ramonda, whatever her damn name is, are more intrigued and in love and putting white men on leashes and using them as sexual bondage displays. Y'all thought I was going to do backflips over that dumbass scene? T'Challa, in the first sub, already wanted to use vibranium to help the world and its illnesses and save people. He felt like he owed the world something because he felt that Wakanda indirectly held the world back. Slavery could have been over with. But hey, the least, and now in a freer world, supposedly, the only thing that's probably holding people back in the long run is diseases. So that's the least they can do for reparations, to make up for their silence in world issues. So Queen Ramonda does all that bullshit. Just cause. And you niggas putting up your fist up. Yeah, tell them white folks that. Tell them white folks. And y'all niggas didn't even catch it. Black women are so in love with seeing white men being these submissive sex boys, sex toys. This is why I can find tons of articles, and I've noticed this, of black dominatrixes using pro-black lore to justify their fuckery and being in love with white boys, because they can put white boys in their place. And this is why they keep a long leash, and they insist on bringing that dumbass CIA agent, whatever his name is. And these bitches can use slurs like colonizer. But the shit don't even mean anything. If he a colonizer, why don't you fucking off him? But no, you use him as a freaking submissive puppy dog and toy with him, and then just kind of like laugh amongst yourselves as you call him colonizer because you hate white people so much. But you never done shit to white people. You didn't do shit to white people in the first fucking film when Killmonger was ready to put all that to the test. Y'all weren't talking about colonizer. Let's get the colonizer. The Dora Milaje weren't doing all that bullshit. Now all of a sudden, white folks are the good guys, right? Now all of a sudden, you owe the world your protection. Y'all sat back during slavery. Why don't you just let Killmonger do whatever the fuck he want to do? See, y'all didn't think that far ahead, did you? No. That's why I was scratching my head. Like, why the fuck did Dora Milaje, why the fuck is Shuri so anti-Killmonger? Yo, you're calling all these white folks colonizer, blame them for slavery and shit. But then again, the same Wakandans didn't even do shit. And they still don't do shit. So yeah, I would be shocked too. I'm like, how y'all are doing all this saying white folks are bad, calling them colonizer, but y'all don't do shit. You just have white men as your little lab dogs. And I'm just so fucking frustrated with the direction of this film because you don't get to see legacies. You don't get to see generational wealth. You see a fucking single mom living in a third world country and she just living it. She's just living it. Fuck the monarchy. Fuck seeing black men get their fucking birthright that they fucking deserve. You telling me you are cool, you are more comfortable than seeing your son as a commoner among other niggas than seeing him on the top of the throne as he sees the world below his feet. You're telling me you're cool with him being a commoner. Get the fuck out of here. That is not T'Challa's son. That's just some nigga borrowing his name. Y'all niggas ain't talking about generational wealth. Let's bridge the pay gap. Let's put black families first. Build all that shit. Y'all bitches were talking all that bullshit about generational wealth. And I'm talking about real life. I seen it. Oh, they'll talk about generational wealth. We need to get the marriage numbers up. We need to date the best men. Okay, hey, here's a non-select guy. Oh, all of a sudden, the non-select guy who was doing everything right, doing everything that you wanted him to do, raised with the influence of his mother and the knowledge of his father, or logic of his father. Now all of a sudden, you can't do nothing with those guys, right? You can't do nothing with them. I caught you bitches, yeah. Because you guys do that shit all the time. You ask them for black boys, black men to do X, Y, and Z. Go to college, get a good paid working job. Stay out of trouble. And then when these guys are ready and they're dating for the sake of marriage, now all of a sudden, I'm not ready for commitment. Bitch, you're 34. What the fuck? What are you waiting for? I'm just not ready. Like it's too much. It's too much. I'm not ready. So you're literally waiting to get married at what, 45 and get pregnant at 50? If God willing, yes. I just not ready. But you were the same bitch dick policing another black man because he dated outside his race. He's happy. He's a father. He's married. And you're dick policing just like Cynthia G. Talking about, oh, all the black wealth from black athletes are going to light-skinned babies and white women. But, you can't do anything with a T'Challa. For real, you can't even publicly claim him, right? Y'all bitches ain't shit. And that's where it stops. Because that's where y'all's unity stops. Because black men and black women are basically two different races. That's why the first film and the second film are so discombobulated to where people are like, this is almost damn near two different universes. Like this don't even make any goddamn sense compared to the first film. Two different races, man. That's where y'all's unity always falls short. Because you don't want black men to lead. You don't want black men to be the face of leadership and control the needle. You would rather have black men in a boy state of mind and have them as children forever, and you do whatever the fuck you want to do. So you're gonna tell me Shuri is a stand-in king / Black Panther, a part-time Black Panther maybe, and she has to willy-nilly do whatever the fuck she want to do. And Coogler, don't even bother making a third one, man. Don't even bother with it. But you know, I rambled enough. I'm gonna probably make a TikTok to kind of shorten it, make him short and precise. Because I was just ranting. Because you know, there's just no way, man. There's no way we've been through all this fucking talk of black economics, generational wealth, breaking family curses, which was what the first film was about. Because a selfish ass Negro couldn't accept that his own brother wanted to create a union between black Americans and Wakandans. Y'all had this boy Killmonger angry at life, throwing everything all away, wanting to burn his bastardized homeland because he couldn't fit in. You're telling me T'Challa went through all that shit to only do the same thing to his own son? Nah. Ain't no fucking way. Ain't no fucking way. Ain't no fucking way he went through all that shit just to create another family curse.